This is Philosophy versus Improv, where two sages try to teach each other a thing or two, and maybe you, the audience, get something out of it as well.
My name is Bill Arnett, an Improv local council member. Wait a minute, let me take that back. My name is Bill Arnett, an Improv senator, but only a philosophical regional council person.
This is Mark Linsenmeyer, a philosophical several running time candidate, never won anything, and in Improv, an absolutely elected sub division assistant to the division assistant to the division helper.
Yeah.
And it's a team play episode. We have two returning guests. Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Sarah Joy Shockey. I'm a Chicago improviser, recent transplant to Janesville, Wisconsin, and I'm writing my fiction books up here. It's top secret, but I'll tell you anything you want to know.
And speaking of transplants, Tommy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tommy Maranges. I used to write a website called Philosophy Bro. I've published a couple board games. I'm in Brooklyn now, though I was in Chicago for a very long time. And I'm an improv nepo baby, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a parent who improvises who got you into the game, or
my brother-in-law is like a genuine improviser, and well, I know him, so pretty cool.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. We are happy to do another one of these team play things with returning people. It took me a little while to figure out. This is the third one of these we've done, and I think a number of people who appear on the show, maybe promoting their book, don't necessarily want to come back. Don't necessarily feel like, especially the philosophers, they might say, "Yeah, I tried this thing. I'm not good at this thing. Maybe I should not do this thing again." So I think I'm putting both of you on notice, given your that Sarah, you have a podcasting husband, right?
Yeah, I got married recently, and I just love saying husband now.
Yeah, Mark, the podcasting can be implicit there. Like every husband has a podcast. We just say husband.
And sometimes they just keep it on the inside, and then sometimes it's released, and it's always running though. There's always that just running current of conversation, I think.
Yeah.
And Tommy, with your you said brother-in-law, what did you say?
Yeah, my brother-in-law Bill.
Okay. Well, I've just gotten the idea for a new format, which is instead of having returning people, bring a friend, have one person return, but then they have to bring someone who they think is more qualified, who would actually be a better guest than they were. And that's not necessary, but somebody who would have fun with it.
Look, if you had asked, is there anyone you can think of who's better for this? I would have had a much longer reply email, but but that wasn't the ask.
Do you think some of the hardcore philosophy people we've had on, Mark, have friends? I hate to say, but do they?
Theoretically.
I mean, they have acquaintances. They have business associates. Do they? I mean,
so that's interesting, Bill. Let's take a second and think about what might those different categories mean. So first, we should establish. That's it. That's the bit.
Okay, we're breaking this down.
In this essay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know some philosophers think that their best friends are long dead, are only accessible through books. I want to spend my time with these cretins that live among me? No, I want to spend time with the great minds.
Plato
and
is my
I can close them and put them away when I'm sick of them. That's a real friend.
Yeah.
What do you think is a real friend? Not that.
Question. In good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for if I'm accessing my lyrics brain.
That's lovely.
I
mean, go ahead, Mark.
No, go, please.
No, I was just going to say a featherless biped with broad, flat nails who lets you braid their hair sometimes. That's a friend.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, is there something to this idea that I don't know what we people that like, oh, you need to socialize more. You have needs that are not being met. So is friendship then somehow reducible to, or at least, they're supposed to be, all friends are friends with benefits. Not those specific benefits that they mean by that term, but that you're getting something out of it. It's an interaction, and you don't feel like, these are my philosophy friends. These are my actual friends. These are my, people, they don't have to be good at improv. Oh, these are just your improv. Or are you improvers so improv soaked that somebody who just doesn't understand the form, who just doesn't sympathize with the humor, who doesn't see why does that just sort of rule them out? Like, you couldn't actually be closer to a certain level with those people.
It's an interesting thought, because like the thing with friendship is it's a choice and you get to turn it off and on. So like you get more control in a friendship than you do with a family. That being said, like there are still power dynamics in friendships, and there are some people who are like seeking the benefits more than the companionship, and some people that are just kind of stumbling along hoping that they'll have company throughout their lives. So it's like there's definitely levels to it. And I think friendships are like plants. Some of them are healthy and they grow and they can, get cold and keep growing. And then other ones, it's like they bloom and die once, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that Sarah's impulse to sort of go to the margins of the question is a good one. That like, we all have our core friends. It's like we all get what's going on there, but like, how do we think about those relationships that we think of as maybe sometimes friends or friends of convenience, or are we friends? I don't know. Like those are harder, and often there's like an intimacy there that is still developing. Like how comfortable sharing am I? How comfortable being shared with am I? To what extent are we like reading the dynamic in sync? Like, is there reciprocity, or is it just like, yeah, I know a lot about that person's life and I have not said anything, but and so am I their therapist or something else? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely met people who and again, I don't think they're broken, but don't value, you talk about the benefits, Mark, the benefits of friendship, they don't necessarily value as highly as I might value them. And the idea of like, well, don't you, isn't it fun spending time with other people? Not really. Not really.
Not if I have to go out of my way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can do a cost benefit analysis once we quantify the benefits. And I've certainly met people that I think I would like to be better friends with, or thought we were better friends, but then they'll be oddly cold or distant at some point and be like, oh, there's a lot you haven't shared. I do not know you as well as I thought I did. Not that I presume to know them deeply or know all my close friends' deepest, darkest secrets, but, a good 50% of their, but then to meet somebody who's like, you suddenly learn they have all this whole thing they never mentioned, then it's like, well, what was this, Maybe you don't value companionship. Maybe you don't value, maybe you don't, I don't know.
I mean, I also had that experience of like having a friend whom I don't actually know that much about, and who doesn't know that, like, within a narrow domain, we know each other or something. And like, that works, right? So again, that I think there being symmetry is an important part of that. But when it's like, oh, there's a lot here that I didn't know that I think you do know about me, or right, like those situations are the ones I'm likeliest to be like, I suppose maybe we weren't friends after all.
I give it like a 2-year rule, and this has only been since I was in my late 20s, but I realized like about 2 years of knowing someone as an acquaintance, or even if you become friends really quickly, 2 years will really give you like a sight of how they deal with their problems, how much they communicate with you, like whether you're close friends or far away friends. And it's also like the amount of time where I think like people who have a facade and don't really value like the normal things of friendship, like companionship and, sussing out your day-to-day things and talking about whatever, you find out within 2 years, like, oh, they're not normal. Like maybe I should pull myself back, which is a big lesson because sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm just lucky to have friends. And it's like, yeah, but not if the friend, like every time you get a text message, your heart's like racing. Like, what drama do they bring to my door today?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
2 years is so long. But yeah, like that's a great rule hearing you describe it. And I'm also reflecting like, man, we could fly under the radar for 2 years. That's
You get 2 years with
kinda
me. I don't
wild.
know about everybody else.
I mean, I think that's a good amount. Like I both like really resonate with that rule and am like I suppose I'm reflecting on relationships I have that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it did take like 2 years for me to realize like, hang on, something is amiss here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've seen them at every holiday. You've probably seen some tragedy or just some minor, serious thing happen to them in their lives, see how they react. And you've had things happen in your life. You've been through all the holidays. You've had some probably big news at some point or some, and seen how they react to it. So you get a good barometer over that length of time. You know what I'm going to ask, Mark?
Please do it.
Did
Ask.
the ancients have friends?
No.
Did they discuss companionship?
No.
Then explain Stonehenge. That's a bunch of friends standing around. Just
Yeah. Well, it's filio, right? Isn't that brotherly love?
Aristotle. Tommy, do you remember what Aristotle had to say about friendship?
Is
that the top of mind?
Maybe one of your friends.
We definitely didn't prep for this particular topic.
Yeah,
we
for
just thought
sure.
something else.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Two soul, same soul in two bodies. Is that friendship for Aristotle or for Plato?
Maybe. There's
What did you have in mind?
Well, it's definitely the mutual respect, the shared values, the
Mhm.
getting something out. For him, the good life is talking philosophy. So
Right.
so we're
Right.
we're already the best of friends. Insofar as this is a sustainable relationship. And I wonder if some of this is rather gendered, that Aristotle is sort of expressing what might translate now into a kind of a male or prototypically male. Obviously it's not, there's I don't even like to put things in these categories, but I have a very weird relationship toward friendship that I maybe is very common for among men, at least, or maybe among everybody, which is many of my best friends I very seldom talk to. Like they're the people that I've counted as my friend group since high school, and can talk with complete openness and be completely candid, and things start right where they left off last time I talked to them, but it might be 6 months between talking to them. Whereas people I talk to much more often, it might be that when Bill and I have done this together for many years, this project, but he might still think like, okay, if we stop doing this, are we friends? Are we going to chat? Do we, that I've been in musical groups with people for years, and we're, this dedication to a common goal. I think that's what for Aristotle friendship is dedicating yourself to a common goal. But that's, strangely not the fact that you could still ask, but are we friends?
Yeah. Well, it's almost as if in the friendships, like the goal just is the relationship, right? As opposed to like, our common project is music. With friendships, like, no, the common project is just the continuation of this common project. And there's not much more to it. I also have that experience of like, I can go, ages without seeing people. And as I since I've been working in games, there are like big conventions, and there are people I basically see 3 times a year at conventions, and that's our whole friendship. But it's that same, like we can pick up where we left off. There's like a sort of neuroatypicality to it too, where it's like, oh, we all have ADHD. Okay, great. So we don't need to remember where anyone is. That's great. And I have noticed the genderedness of it falling off as that like the industry opens up too, which is nice. But I think that shared sense of, I mean, Plato wrote in dialogues, so like not only did he have friends, they were all in his stuff. He was basically like the Lonely Island, but in ancient Greece, just like, yeah, let's get all my friends in this stuff.
But I mean, were they really his friends, or are they all just trying to ride on his toga tails.
I would not say
They
that that Socrates' toga tails were
Okay.
a particularly appealing ride.
Ugh, a little stinky. It's a little stinky
Yeah.
back. I don't know.
Yeah.
My big friend barometer uh is being able to run errands with somebody else. I mean, like, yeah, I'll run errands
That's
with
a
you.
great one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do? I got to do some things. You want to tag along? Okay. And if I'm like, no, they're not a friend, or just not a close friend.
I can do tag-alongs with acquaintances too. One of my barometers is how much do I want this person at my house for a couple of hours? And it's
Okay.
like that was like a weirdly important differentiator for me where it's like I like a lot of people. I'm an easy like out in the world talker, but I kind of have to be like, okay, you're having fun with this lady, but she is drunk at a local festival and maybe she doesn't really want to come to your house tomorrow. Like you can kind of set those barometers too before you get too deep in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we feel like we've said enough to set up an improv scene? My vote is yes.
We certainly could. We can always improvise. Mark,
Yes,
we've
and,
already
right?
been improvising. We've already been improvising.
No, we haven't.
If you want to formally,
I want to be characters. Then I'll feel that I can be truly free to express myself. If I'm just being with you as myself,
Mhm.
I'm not going to reveal very much. But as a character, you can see inside.
Well, maybe we could do a scene where we
my
all.
3 centimeter thick soul.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Is that how I measure them now?
Souls in metrics. Yeah.
Well, when you're developing a character, probably there's not much depth. You know, we don't have a whole a season. This is not Magic Tavern. We cannot develop these characters over a year.
Yeah.
Unless we just choose to be characters we have previously played.
I
This
started
entire
developing
time.
my character when I was born. I didn't even know that podcast was going to come into
Mhm.
existence.
Mhm.
I'm going to just maybe as a challenge to everybody. Can you be a friend of yours? Can you put on them as a character? And we don't have to name them. Okay, but I think this is actually there's a good improv thing here because people aren't just, well, they say this one funny thing. You know, you do an impression of your high school teacher who's annoying, you know, but it's kind of surfacey. But then this whole idea of like, I hope you know your friend a little more deeply. You might understand how they may react in different situations, you know.
All right,
Yeah.
we're thinking about that. Audience, you should think about
Think about it too, audience.
think about listening to this as a friend would listen to it.
Now I'm going to say
Don't-
this. Once you've picked your friend, audience, realize they may not be your friend. They may not be reciprocal. How does that make you feel? I'm being ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous. I'm sure it's reciprocal. All right, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
it's
I got
definitely
the
reciprocal. That weird thing you said once, don't even worry. That didn't matter.
money. Yeah.
It's definitely reciprocal.
Someone's going to say it right now. I think we do the appetizer sampler platter. Here's the thing. We get 2 appetizer sampler platters. All right. Now, wait, Mark, wait. Because I know you like the Southwest egg rolls. Okay. And here's the thing. There are 3 Southwest egg rolls per sampler platter. All right. If we get 2 sampler platters, then you could have 2 whole Southwest egg rolls. Okay.
I mean, maybe we should look at this as a chance to interrogate what we're interested in terms of the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah. All right. I'm okay. That was my idea. I threw that out there. We don't have to do it. I just thought, looking at the menu, as you know, that we could do that. Well, we don't have to do that.
I mean, what did the ancients think about hors d'oeuvres? What would they encourage us? To divide? Given that there are 4 different people with different interests here, how would they tell us to lay things out?
They have Applebee's in Athens. I don't know. Do you think there's an Applebee's in Athens today? I don't think that's true.
What I'm really seeing is that they don't have Coca-Cola products, and that is not ideal. However, if we want to change our minds and make this a drinking night, There's a Dolorita. I happen to know they go through 5 to 12 gallons of this per day. Let's get toshed and find out who's at the top of the mountain philosophically. Let's do it. I won't take no for an answer.
Boom, boom. We should definitely start with 2 pitchers. Just get them ordered now. If you order them now, they can be coming, and we don't have to go without.
Tommy, do you have something to throw in here?
I'm trying to figure out whether we'd started or not.
To make things easier, sometimes when you're adopting a character, we just use our own names, just so we don't have to remember any names. You could just read them right off the screen.
Tommy,
I'm just happy to be here.
Apps, drinks. Let's do this. Apps, drinks.
Yeah.
How we feeling?
We're feeling.
Let's do this.
We're excited to be here. We had a day, and so 2 pitchers of margarita sounds like a good start.
Okay, all right.
What's happened in your day that's got you so rocked?
Well, before we go in, are we buy-in on 2 pitchers of Rita's?
We're putting this on my card, and I'm counting this as a customer-client interaction.
Bingo,
My
there we
work
go.
has an extra
All right.
budget, and we have to use it, or else we get dinged on a credit card reports.
Tommy, while you're talking about your problems, don't be upset if my head's on a swivel looking for the server. But go. Let's hear about your problems. But don't be upset if you're not getting full eye contact. Go.
Okay, well, I was having a fight earlier with my partner because she seems very distracted, and I hate that. But this is fine. Also, it's just like I'm allergic to almost everything, and that means being out in the world is hard to do. Thank God this Applebee's is actually almost totally free of allergens, but it's just hard, and that's okay. It's just that kind of situation. You ever just have one of those days where you're like, this is terrible, but I'm gonna be okay if I just keep up the being okay. That's where I am.
The only way out is through. And you're going through it, but that's why we come here, and that's why this is
2
the
pitchers
Applebee's,
of
not the
margaritas?
Crapplebee's on South Side.
Thank you.
I'd never go to that one. They've got allergens lining the walls. Mark knows. He got sick there 2 weeks ago.
Orders in, everybody. Orders in.
I try not to retain grudges toward places that I've gotten sick at. I feel like the sickness is probably my fault. So I'll return.
Oh, what do you mean?
patronage.
Why'd you open that door to your own brain? That's just welcoming in pestilence, like the Egyptians during Moses' time.
I mean, you don't feel like just if you have a bad beer somewhere that the establishment is at fault. If somebody
They don't get to have me there again until there's a good fight reason for me to go in those doors. And when I go in, you can bet your ass it's going to be a Western, and I'm going to kick the doors open. And if I get sick again, I'm not going to burn it down, but I won't root for it not to burn down either.
The fire allows the undergrowth to emerge.
Necessary.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
If we still had Bennigan's, then we wouldn't have Applebee's. We had to lose Bennigan's to get an Applebee's.
A great point.
So that said, I did like that deep fried Monte Cristo sandwich they had at Bennigan's, where it was like dunked the whole thing in like fish and chips batter. It wasn't just like no one else. You guys the Monte. Okay, well, all right.
It's a cultural icon. It's like moons over my hammy at Denny's.
Exactly, and he got that little thing of jam.
There's nothing like that at Applebee's. Name the famous Applebee's. What, the 2 chicken breasts with the salad dressing on it? Fiesta lime chicken.
The Jack Daniel's Southwest Grill. I think that's a promotion. I think that's just a promotion.
I mean, you both did name 4 things, so maybe they do have it.
You know
Is
what?
the blue and onion Applebee's? Can we get a blue and
hard
onion?
on them. We've been hard on Applebee's.
I just saw the menu. It's fresh in my mind.
Okay.
Why does
I'm
Chili's?
sorry.
Why does Chili's still exist? This is
Because
I mean,
Damon's doesn't. We sacrifice Damon's to keep chilies.
that's a
And it
bad
wasn't
deal.
right.
No.
It wasn't right.
So is this just a matter of sort of cosmic balance? Is there, or there's actual causal relationships
There will
between the
always be
destruction?
3 fast casual restaurants. It's like Highlander times 3. And should a new one emerge, then another one has to die.
I'm afraid for Hardee's.
Yeah. Well, they kind of straddle that line. They can jump over to fast food, or they can head over to fast cash if they need to. Ruby Tuesdays on the way down. Ruby
Red
Tuesdays,
Robin.
Red Robin on the way up. You see?
Let me ask you
It's
this. Do you
equal and
feel
opposite
like-
reactions.
Do you feel like though that's part of the cycle? Like it's important to have those like when a fast casual chain's time has come, we should celebrate the good times that we had rather than mourn the good times that we won't have in the future. There's nothing worse than trying to force a 90s good time in an 80s fast casual place. Terrible. I think we should be more open to the birth and death of fast casual chains. It's the circle of life.
Well, I think
Promotion.
what we're losing without gaining is we are losing faux fancy fast casual.
What happened to Red Lobster? I go in
Thank
there
you.
and it doesn't feel like there's been a lobster fest at all. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to be in Maine anymore. It feels like
Olive Garden used to be special. Now it's absolutely pedestrian. I can't take my in-laws to Olive Garden anymore. That's what you.
So if Olive Garden has lost some of its je ne sais quoi, its joie de vivre, what organization picked up that stray?
No
Move.
one. We have a faux fancy vacuum.
You know what it was? It was Taco Bell Cantina, and they're acting like you're going to go in there and have a margarita and then go back out to the bars. And it's like, that's not right. You took that spot from someone else.
Is
Yeah.
it Panera that has
They need
know-
to go. It's time.
that
Next.
That's
Well,
what
now we're
happens if
talking-
you
Bagel
try
place.
to
Where's Einstein Brothers?
if
Where
you try
are
to
they?
hang on too long, then what you get is, oh, we look at this cool new energy drink. It's only killed some people. Panera won't allow themselves to be a part of the natural flow.
Panera plays the weird we do lunch card. They're for lunch. People don't, even you can eat at Panera for dinner and breakfast, but they have the special lunch dispensation that I think keeps them above the fray a little bit.
What's the connection between Domino's and fixing the roads? Every year they're doing we're fixing your potholes, we're paving the neighborhood. Who's in the pocket of Domino's that has all that pavement to give out?
And what does a domino look like? Black with little holes in it. It's a
Asphalt.
damaged road.
It all comes back together.
is the paving material actually their pizza? Because I mean
They're-
that's the
burnt
quality.
pizzas, they're mixing it in with concrete to turn it black.
Yeah.
Recycled materials are a big thing for rehabilitating worn pavement.
Don't want to pull focus. Don't want to pull focus.
Okay.
Are we doing the double apps? Are we doing the double app?
I'm
or
in because I'm paying
Southwest egg
for
roll?
it. Let's whatever you want.
All right. We can get back to it. Domino's.
When you
fixing the
take
roads.
money out of the equation, all of a sudden society works. We all get along. What's that about?
Mhm.
Tommy, fix
y-
the economy with your thoughts and words now.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure. We could all go to the woods and fucking chill out for a bit.
Yes.
I think we just need a long break in trees. That's my proposal.
Trees. Trees?
Trees.
You want a lake or a lagoon as well?
Open to it, absolutely. I'm not going to fight you on that. I would say big trees, main thing, lake, lagoon. Yes, love to have that there.
Bill's
Wildlife.
seeking comfort. I'm afraid
could
Bill won't
be-
be sold if there's bugs.
There's bugs, but you're in their house and they mostly leave you alone.
And if you could be lord of those flies if you're hanging out in nature for a while. I mean it's a very relaxing
Read the
sort
book.
of situation.
Doesn't end well.
Did you know that book was written by a teacher who hated his students?
Does not surprise.
Figures.
Like, no, but yes.
That's the
that makes
fantasy for like,
sense.
of course that would happen.
Mhm.
These guys went there.
Well, I think they should do a reality television show where you take 6 different people and give them each a political, economic system, and see, who battle of the, socioeconomic stars, people, and you've got your Ayn Rand group, and you've got your Greco-Roman Republic group,
But each
Got
one
your
is
black-eyed nihilists.
So this was my pitch for the next season of Survivor, but they were like, we're just going to do Fiji again. I was like, no, look, 2 tribes, give each one a different cultural and socioeconomic system and see
let's
what
learn
happens.
from it.
Yeah, but
What happened to
apparently,
edutainment?
yeah.
All right. See, I like that idea of making them tribes, because saying you as an individual, you represent communism. You as an individual represent rugged individualism. How's that going to work? How's the communist going to be a communist by himself?
You've got to agree. All your organs have to be working together in a unit, and they really dispense of resources in an even way. If I drink my Kool-Aid, the brain gets a bit, right? The fingers get a bit. It's a body system. It's going inside. It's meditation. The ancient yogis had it down, but it's hard when you're out west. We have more distractions, less rigid karma.
To each cell according to its needs, from each cell according to its ability.
Exactly. It's a fair distribution system within.
The body is centrally planned, I'd say. So there's something to that.
Well, look at here. We've got our 2 apps just arrived, 2 appetizer platters. And I think
What's
we
that?
get a
Chipotle
perfect
ranch.
opportunity.
These little pork things have made me sick before, but I'm going to try it again.
Forgive them and forget, I guess.
It just, if I have to
you've
run.
really grown, Sarah, in the course of this conversation.
Yes!
I respect that.
That's all I want.
I'm going to say right
Continuous
now,
learning.
I don't want any jalapeno poppers. So if anyone else wants jalapeno poppers, I will trade my allotment 2 for 1 with something that you have.
What's this allotment? What's your math
Yeah,
there?
this
When
is,
you're looking at the plate, are you already sectioning it off?
Well, there are
like,
6
there's 2 of him and
jalapeno
1 of-
poppers per tray, so that's 12 jalapeno poppers. So we're each going to get 3 jalapeno poppers. And I would be willingly give up 2 of my jalapeno poppers for 1 of your.
But who's to say they're yours? I might want every single jalapeno popper, and I might eat them really quickly when no one's looking. And then where's your allotment?
That would be uncool.
Look
That would
who
be
didn't
uncool.
actually take money out of the equation after all.
It's my money, and I want it now.
Oh, okay. Well, I think as long as we start from a fair place, we can trade freely.
I think there's no ethics to this until we get down to the last one of something. When it's the last one of something, then everybody just has to take, anybody who wants it has to just take half and then put the other half back until the half gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But before that point, it's just sort of who reaches first, right?
I fear it's going to come down to the pulled pork sliders, since we have 5 per app tray.
5 is a lot for an appetizer tray. These
are
big.
generous. These are very generous.
Applebee's.
appetizers.
What are these? $45 each.
You should be in the commercials the way you said that. Wow, these are so generous. They should.
You think
They
I
should
could
put
do
you in the
commercials?
commercials.
I do a lot of casting, but I've never on the other side. I think it's better to make them wonder why you're not doing it.
I don't just see why restaurants just don't do app platters. It's like American dim sum or like American small plate. It's just everything is small.
Like tapas.
Why does this pork slider actually say Damon's on the bottom of it? That's
They
really
love them over
that's really
some-
cruel.
They
that
burn
they stole-
them in like they're branded.
They stole the recipe from the outgoing restaurant, and then or the actual product.
Yeah,
how
or
old
If they
are
have an
these?
onion loaf, we're ordering it. The Damon's onion loaf, you just smash those onion straws into a big fry basket, and you fry the whole thing, and then you put a little flag in, like you've conquered the onions. This is your loaf. And then you just pull them apart, dip them in the orange stuff. It's like
think
this, but not
is-
exactly. It's better.
This is the spoils of war. They didn't steal it. They looted it. They looted that recipe from the corpse of Damon's, and
History is written by the winners.
history is written by the winners. Applebee's.
And when they bought the place, the freezer was full.
Either that, or they're just branding the name of their conquered foe on their food as if
As a warning.
you get to ingest the soul of this dead once enemy, once challenge to our reign.
We're coming for you, Chili's to go, Applebee's to stay. Look what we did to Damon's.
Do you think fast casual chains have friends? Or is it all just a war of all against all?
Dog eat dog.
Ugh,
The only friends
heartbreaking.
are the hostesses and the dishwashers, and that's what keeps society running.
Hmm.
Not the hosts, the hostesses.
No. Bar staff, cooks, no. Runners, no.
Do the friendships between restaurants, insofar as they exist, actually involve the individuals that work at those restaurants, or are they just more friendships between abstract entities?
Like, what do we think is going on in a combination Taco Hut Pizza Bell? Which is what it is.
They're sharing resources, right? There's come
So
over
there are
here and get the
benefits.
extra breadsticks at the end of your shift. Because I know when I worked at the Harry Potter exhibition, they were making so much money that the gift shop would just give us things for free. And that's what they do. They share resources like the great mycelium network between trees and fungus. It's beautiful, really. Just a bit more commercial.
So you're suggesting a Applebee's, Chili's, half and half?
I think you really can't go wrong if you take a decisive turn into Texas Roadhouse territory.
You can put your peanut shells on the floor. That's how they get you. That's how you
That's how
think
they get
you think you're breaking the rules and being bad, but they're expecting you to do that.
That's Texas Roadhouse is where I learned how allergic I was to everything. It's very.
Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
All
On
right.
the floor. It's
Strike
great.
that. We're joining Applebee's with something else. And here's what I think. We need to bring back the mall. We need to bring back those big, giant anchor stores where you can just wander around and gather your thoughts before you go to the store you actually want to go to. We don't need to buy anything. It could just be a museum of what malls used to be, but it'll get people in the door to the Applebee's, which is next to Ansather.
See,
Okay.
I thought from your accent that you were saying we need to bring back the mole, as
The
if
mole!
one of us
No!
at this table is undermining the project of appreciating these appetizers.
I'm a world traveler. I was born in the UK and I came over to the United States to learn from your culture. So if I'm a bit slow and if you can't always understand me, perhaps it's your processing that should be sharpened and not my pronunciation. This is the English you used to speak.
Okay. I mean, as the spirit of dead Britain has come to America to enrich our culture. Yeah, I think that we should actually adopt more Britishisms, and more of us should speak with at least just a little bit, like sort of Madonna, someone who has spent a little time
it's like
over there.
I became a different type of human.
Not to take things back to Ann Sathers, but I think we all need to agree that cinnamon rolls taste precipitously worse for every minute they are out of the oven. It is a
Agreed.
steep decline from fresh cinnamon roll to even 30-minute-old cinnamon roll. Steep
Yeah.
decline.
I appreciate this. Take us back to first principles. That is like obviously true. What can we learn from that? The curve on cinnamon rolls, and that's why cinnamon never made it out of the mall store
The
kiosk.
airport.
It never launched all the way to fast cat. You can't.
To
It's not
go?
fast enough.
Cinnamon roll to go? It's going to be a hockey puck by the time you get it home. You have to eat it.
There is another curve, I think. There's the big giant Millennium Force. It's delicious. It's terrible. But then about 4 hours later, you get about half the size on another one.
Okay, all right. Okay, a little increase, bump.
Mhm. Pair it with a
Right.
glass of eggnog seasonally, and you're back to 3/4.
Okay.
I mean,
I think
maybe
it's- yeah.
just transforming from a yummy fresh snack to something else, and we need to be open to the possibility that that something else may have intrinsic value of its own. The
That's what
hockey puck
aging is.
experience.
Well, I think you figured this out. I think who is Ann Sather in cinnamon rolls, your Cinnabon, and Ann's pretzels, Annie's pretzels. Also, hot fresh pretzels better than cold pretzels. And they exist in the mall strictly because you have to eat it immediately.
You've got to sit down, take a break, spend some money, then spend some more.
And then eat it. If you had them
And then-
as a standalone, well, then that would encourage people to drive with them home. And we can't have that. The food can't tolerate it.
You never think I'm going to pack some Annie Ann's to take with me to the mall. You have to get it there. You have to kill it fresh.
Annie's fruit snacks. Now that's a snack you can take to the mall.
Different Annie. I
Different
just
one.
learned this last week.
Whoa,
Totally different
what?
Annie.
They're the same. They're different?
And
They're
neither
different.
of them are the orphan.
Auntie Annie is pretzels. Different Annie does the fruit snacks. Third Annie is the orphan.
And she's little.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any restaurant that will sell you
I
only
think-
things that are not perishable? But not just like it's
Like
not
Home
just,
Depot?
I mean, yes, of course, many
Menards.
a so-called convenient mart will sell you bags of gummy bears or whatever. But I'm saying a sit-down restaurant where you sit down, you order a menu that's entirely things that you could take with you and won't be significantly worse a week later.
There was a restaurant in Chicago. They had several outlets that sold custom frozen pizza or refrigerated pizza. And it was super
Okay.
annoying because if you just wanted a slice or something, you would go, and like we don't have an oven, but we will dress your frozen pizza however you wish. Take and bake only. So I guess that
remember
would,
that.
maybe that would satisfy your criteria, Mark.
I was just more thinking a place where, I mean, I think this would be a wonderful thing for small children where you gather around a table and a waiter comes and just serves you, Smarties, gummy bears,
Uncrustables.
non-fresh.
And then if the
non-fresh
child
food.
has to suddenly leave for a meeting, they can just swipe it all into a candy bag and leave. Go to their meeting.
Oh, they're
Dried.
late.
I think
Jerky?
You're just inventing lunch at a private school, it feels like now.
That's true.
Well, maybe as private schools fade, then this new idea will take its mojo.
We're all going to be in the trees anyway. Might
From
as
your
well
lips
build
to
some
God's
malls
ears,
out
Sarah.
there.
From your lips to God's ears, I hope so.
Oh, I hate to
want little
pull
pod
focus. Again.
societies of the best groups of people, and then they all sort of live in circles, and then in the middle they sing a bit together. That's my utopia.
Well, I hate to pull focus again, but we were down to 3 buffalo wings.
I'm full. I'm all done.
All right. Well, then that's good. That's
why I
good.
put my
Okay.
fork like that.
I didn't know that worked for an app platter. Is that also
Right.
code? Okay.
I still had to communicate it.
Fair enough.
Never
Fair
give
enough.
up.
I don't-
Honestly, I thought because I'm sitting across from you, and so it's it's like
Mhm.
I thought that was a danger signal. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to like catch your eye and be like, who's making you feel unsafe? But you're just done. Okay, we're good. You're just done eating.
I'm
Okay.
all done. I'm fine.
Oh, I
Great.
thought you
If
meant
I were
Okay.
doing
the-
a danger, it would look
The
like
fork.
this.
I thought the fork. Yeah, I thought but the other direction. But okay, we're good.
Right. Yeah.
I thought
Did
you were
you-
saying the
did you,
presence of 3 buffalo wings was itself a signal. which if you read the leaves correctly, I guess
Mhm.
anything could be a signal.
Now I'll admit I had 2 drumettes and only 1 flat. The two bone wing. So if you feel like those 2 drumettes are equal to 1 2-bone wing, well then I can be done. I don't know what
Just
your.
take it all, Bill. We do
Have it
not care.
all.
I'll
why
do
not?
that too, but only if you're okay with that, Tommy.
And if
I
we
will
were-
have 1 drumette, and then you can have.
And then I'll have the
everything
other.
else.
There's 2 more
Then you can
flats.
have the
I'll
other
take those.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely.
That's great.
Did you give blood today, Tommy?
In a manner of speaking, I did.
Okay. I saw your Band-Aid.
Yeah. I gave blood, and it was a long wait, and I passed out both before the needle went in and then again after it came out. So it was a double pass out kind of day.
Now, do you think it would help if someone had donated good thoughts and thoughts you've never had before, but really good ones that they've perfected in their own mind? After you pass out, before you leave, when you're eating your snack, they pump you full of somebody's donated good thoughts. Is that helpful? Or do you think that opens up something that we really shouldn't look at in the face?
Wow, that's a really specific scenario you're describing there. I do think that pumping thoughts into the brains of the unconscious it opens up a couple of issues, maybe, but
I mean,
what if they're really good and other people like them?
Can you totally recall giving blood today?
Oh yeah, it's just sort of like, whoa, I'm feeling a bit woozy. Even if you don't completely pass out, they, put two little pads on either side of your forehead, and all of a sudden it's like it's standing on the top of the moon. I think it would look like this.
Sarah, what is it that your company does again that's paying for this lunch? What was it you were saying?
Oh yeah, so we do a lot with generative AI.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really on the cutting edge. Actually, every other day we have a bit of a troubling memo, but it also is like the Gutenberg press. This is an area of human development that must be explored, and not everyone's going to use it for the right reasons. But I'm doing sort of C-level work, and I'm encouraged to use the credit card because I think there's something with the processing fees that makes everybody money. Doesn't seem fair. But look at how happy Bill is with his chicken drumettes.
Hey, hog and slop over here. I didn't, please don't think I recommended the double appetizer platter thinking that I would get the lion's share. But
I'm still getting desserts. We should do a whole round of I'll have 2 bites.
Death by chocolate, and we'll just
You'll
kind
have 2 bites, put it to the left. If you're allergic, just keep it moving.
We should probably do 1 chocolate dessert, 1 fruit dessert.
Yep. And a creme brulee if they have it. I always get a creme brulee.
I'm afraid Bill's joy in the drumettes has directly resulted, or somehow the cosmic scales are such that those pork sliders, man, I feel bad. Those did not go down right.
No.
I'm gonna have to.
You knew. You welcomed it in. You welcomed your own illness.
I thought maybe this time it would be different.
I have a lactate in my purse. I don't know that they're anything milky at all, but if you had a popper, it'll help.
Probably just eating more food, probably.
Or a lactate. Do you need a lactate?
I mean, probably drinking more lactose would help. That just isn't that the way it goes?
Thinking like an ice cream or a shake or something for
milk with ice.
Well, I've got lactate.
We're allowed to order that. They don't have to tell you. You don't have to explain yourself. That would make you feel better.
Is that like a British delicacy or something?
No.
I've never heard you mention that before, but
no, I've never had it. The thought occurred to me. They have such great ice here. It's like hospital ice. Thought it might be interesting with the milk.
I think you just make up a cocktail and you say, I'll have a Jackie Mason, which is milk and ice and vodka.
Well, the Santa's beard. It's the same thing, but with Malibu rum.
That's better. All right. Yeah.
Well, I've got a lactate, an Advil, and Tylenol in my fanny pack. So if anybody needs
your fanny pack's really nice. Is that stretchy?
Yes, it is. It's stretchy as well.
That's great. Bet you can fit a lot in there.
And these aren't scrubs, actually. I know they're kind of they're just pajama bottoms, but
it's nice the way they sort of look like they're supposed to be business pants, but they're definitely.
I had to shop for them special, but they're definitely pajama bottoms. Yeah.
Bill, you are prepared for anything, and I respect that so much. I always know when we go out, I don't have to worry at all about fractions or about physical ailments, and it's one reason I really like being friends with you, is all the things I don't have to do.
Rule number 1 about being ready for everything is realizing there's some things you can't be ready for.
Oh.
It's very wise.
Wow.
Unintended consequences when you try to do something nice for somebody, and cosmic justice makes it turn out poor for somebody else or yourself.
So is it really a matter of controlling your own thoughts so that you are as calm as possible most of the time? That's the way that you can seek happiness quicker?
Would your calmness make other people more anxious because they're a little freaked out by that? Like in the face of, I mean, I know you've got terrible things going on in your life, but you really seem happy at this dinner, and I'm that's making me pretty nervous.
You know, it really is. The terrible things will give you a sense of the loss, and they'll give you a sense of who you actually are. So my thinking is, if I'm very calm, and I'm so calm that I don't care whether the people around me are anxious or falling apart or nervous or anything like that, I'm just sort of divinely inspired to do my day. Perhaps that takes care of that. And then it doesn't matter if you have friends or not, really, because you're a friend to yourself first. And that'll draw other friends, or it won't.
So
Okay.
is that
Did you say middle drawer to the other friends?
Did I? Middle drawer. Put them away. We don't need them.
Ah, okay.
We all
All
agree that the bolognese samosas were the best thing on the tray, right?
I didn't eat one of those. They scared me.
I don't think those helped my stomach issues. I liked them going in.
Mm-hmm.
I
Was that
saw
a-
you take like 2 bites. I was worried about that. I was like, are we gonna have to do the Heimlich?
Was
I
that a
thought Tommy
samosa?
might know it.
I couldn't tell. I just see anything under a bolognese and I go nuts. It was kind of a triangle. It could have been a waffle cone. Could have been anything. But
I just
it was a
really
samosa,
like the
okay.
cheese curds. That's it. That was my favorite star of the night every time. Cheese curds and a little bit of orange dip.
This is
Mhm.
really amazing that a single platter would have so many different things on it that we just keep retrospectively discovering more of them in our memories.
We didn't even talk about the
things.
sweet potato spring rolls,
No.
which I don't
See-
normally like sweet potatoes.
See, now, Mark, I think that would be worse in a commercial than what Sarah said earlier. Like, I don't think it's as snappy a commercial if you're like, wow, there's so many options. We just keep going, huh? Like, that makes it seem. But I'll bet we could get it there. We should all.
Are
we
you
should be
trying
in
to get a
Applebee's
job at
commercial.
Applebee's? Is
No,
work
we
going
should be in a
well?
commercial. We should be in a commercial. The 4 of us, friends at Applebee's, we should be in a commercial. I'm just saying, we spent enough money here. That's the least they could do.
We
We
Your
collectively.
company.
Collectively,
My
Yes.
generative AI company is generating money at an interesting rate. So, yeah, this might not even be paid with real money. This might be a $1 cash card. I don't know. Society's
Mhm,
ever changing. Who's to know when we'll switch to Monopoly cash?
mhm.
We
Pretending
changed our
That
minds. We're
means-
not in debt. We've got new money. We're starting at 0.
is that your take on friendship, Tommy? Is that pretending that you're in a commercial together, enjoying your environment, that's sort of
Proof.
defines what a good friend experience is?
No, I think that's what commercials are all constantly trying to get to is like, here you are with
Mm.
these people that you love, and you can always tell, and it's like, but what if they got 4 actual friends to just be in the commercial? I think it could change the game. That's all I'm saying.
like the Sonic guys.
Just
Sonic.
just in the car.
Just guys sitting in a car. Okay, or people just in a car being normal-ish.
Sure. Are they friends?
They have a banter.
They
Well, there
have
you
a
go.
banter. They
I-
have a rapport.
I guess the
Mhm.
evolution of people's appreciation, you don't have to shrink everything down to short attention spans. Podcasts show that people can pay attention to relatively mundane or nonsensical patter for quite a long time before they just give up in disgust. So I
Are
think
we
you're,
not just
think
doing
you're
our
on
own
something.
whale songs and howling out into the abyss whenever we create a podcast, whenever we sing a song?
and hoping the other whales can or you're
Or maybe a
you might
passing
be the last
walrus.
whale on earth. Is that the okay right? It's all for future when they beam the signal with the podcast off of Earth, somebody might hear it at some point. That kind of hope for a future.
Or
Now,
even
Sarah,
that the energy is
earlier-
beneficial.
Earlier you mentioned like putting thoughts in someone's brain. No reason I'm thinking about that. Would the person's original thought still be there if someone replaced thoughts in their brain?
Oh, they say the brain is a 1,000-petaled lotus. You're tucking the thoughts into a petal that has nothing. There are thoughts over here that you think of every day. What am I going to look at on the internet? What am I going to eat? Then over here, you get one that's tried and true, and it's a short story idea that they just didn't want to write. But when they think about it, it's a really good thought, and it's donated. If the person doesn't like it, just think something else. It's not a branding. It's not a Damon's on a bun.
Just when these thoughts radiate out, enriching the soil, does that not then pull? Is there not that cosmic balance that a daemons will fall when the thoughts go out and nourish the Applebee's?
Then that's the Damon's that must go. That's the giving tree.
I think they're closing up.
All right, I'm
gonna
put this giant card down and just
Get the check over here.
and desserts to go. I want the chocolate, the creme brulee, and pick a fruit one, and we'll just kind of take bites and then take home what we want.
Ooh, I was gonna do the cast iron apple crumble, but maybe they'll have to put it in a different container. They won't give us a little cast iron ramekin, would they?
I'm not paying for it.
Well, that's the point, right? Is you're not paying for it.
Right, but it's like when I need to go in and categorize my
Okay.
expenses, and they say, "Why was there $39.99 cast iron skillet at Applebee's?" And by the way, who are you meeting with? And will they change the face of generative AI? I'm certainly telling them you will, but I don't know that.
Is your company doing commercials yet?
We are experimenting with new methods of commercial delivery.
Yeah,
Thought
okay.
sharing is one idea, so you sort of caught me thinking about work at dinner.
Yeah.
No, this is definitely the commercial right here. Tommy is right. We're just use this. I've been recording us the whole time.
When you hear your family.
All right, let's wrap that up.
Yeah.
Wow, that was Bill. Did you have an improv lesson
Yes.
in mind? That
Yes,
of course
I-
you set us up. I forgot after the first minute.
Well, I actually thought I was going to be one friend, but then I realized, oh no, I'm much closer to this other guy I know, and he's an old friend and a dear friend, but is constantly like every situation, every interaction, he's thinking about what's the game of this? How do we win this thing? What's going on? How do I maximize our time? And to the point where it's like, well, the idea is we're supposed to be wasting time together. That's what you do with friends. You waste time. Well, how can we maximize wasting our time?
Get the most out of it.
And cutting into a conversation to make sure we're maximizing time wasting. Oh boy, that's a big cat you got there.
I got a big giant guy.
That's a
Yeah, this
huge
is Oscar.
loaf.
He's a little
Yeah.
friend.
So I
He's a
was
little
somebody,
friend. He
Mark.
doesn't wanna
Were
be
you anybody, Mark? Were you somebody?
Well, I started trying to be you, but I only got
I
through-
know.
through one. What did the ancients think of this? And then I realized what a narcissistic solipsist I am, that I've done so many of these with you, and I don't know how to imitate you at all. And so I just gave up.
What a thing to find out.
Other than I wanted to be supportive instead of
Mhm.
doing my usual saying things to derail and ruin everything.
Try to
So-
put me in a bottle. Try as you like.
Mhm.
I'm an octopus. Just won't go in there.
Sarah, would you care to share what your character?
I was gonna play one of my guy friends, and then it was the same kind of moment where I was like, it's too nuanced. I don't understand all the like where it comes from. It's like you can admire somebody, but then not understand where any of their motivations come from. So then I was just thinking of like, well, who do I miss? Like, who haven't I talked to in a while? And I was like, oh, British friend. But then I felt like I was a hybrid version of like her and myself, because I don't know how she would react to a lot of that stuff. And then it becomes like the third person, which is like the character. And there's this interesting like crossover of like, oh, I'm pulling ideas from multiple places. And then
Mhm.
also all of you have your own interesting inputs, and like my character is starting to care about them in a way beyond the motivation.
Sure.
Which is just a fun little mix around. And then
Yeah.
you drop in a real fact or two and you're like, I'm really playing the game.
Well, that's like an interesting thing is that we do have to change ourselves based on the company. And if we're going to be alive in a moment with somebody, with a friend, we have to be open to those changes and open to the emotional ride. And we can't just put the blinders on. I'm this person. I'm this person. I'm this person. And I think we have all probably met that person who has an agenda for the conversation or an agenda for the thing, or is bulletproof emotionally to what's happening and isn't alive in what's happening. And that person's not always fun.
No,
Speaking
but
of
I
du-
love curmudgeons. They're like my favorite people to try to like crack into and just be like, what's your little soft spots? Can I know about them? Like, can I be sweet enough that you, a known rude guy, wants to be my friend?
Tommy,
You like
anything
a
to share about
challenge.
anything to share about your character?
Yeah, I similar to Sarah, I had this feeling of like, I've never been to Applebee's with this friend. I have no idea like how in this new context this would go. And sometimes like, and I have I don't know what kind of rapport my friend would have with each of your friends. And so there's also this like, well, I only know what my friend is like when I'm around. That's all any of us know is what our friends are like when we're around them. I'm not
Yeah.
here. So I don't know. I can't tell what's going on here. And so very quickly it becomes like, all right, this is a starting point. I've got to start. I've just got to like pick a direction and go rather than trying to remain like true to a character who just like doesn't exist beyond this.
Well, I fell into trying to look at zero-sum games, right? The point of a friendship is that it is mutually uplifting, that we're helping each other out, but just by being around each other. But because we sort of use each other in certain ways, like, oh, I need somebody to tell my problems to. And then somebody else raised this idea of one restaurant coming into existence because the energy of the other. I just got fixated on trying to think about that in terms of friendship and Bill's mathematical portioning of the hors d'oeuvres. What seemed to feed well into that of just people playing different games, such that the sum total output of energy is incalculable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really like that too, where it's like when you're doing an improv scene, you do have to do the calculations of like, how do we feel? And, like, are these people in a relationship? Like, I think we all kind of knew, like, it's a friend group, like, how good of friends are we? And like, as you fall into those bits and as you start agreeing, there's like that fun double layer of like, you're building it in the scene, but you're also building it like behind the scenes of like, oh, I get that reference. Like, and you kind of start like finding your respect for the people goes up and moves around like as you're pretending to be these other people.
Well, Bill felt so friendly toward us that he just fell off the call. So maybe
He wanted to go out on a high note.
Whew, that was a big alpha move. I liked it.
maybe he'll reappear in a second. Yeah. Any final things? Clearly, our topic, our philosophical topic here, that we did not come in thinking. Actually, Tommy and I decided it would be AI and consciousness. The fact that you brought that up,
I get
Sarah,
read mine
I thought that was
a little bit.
Yeah,
was
pretty
funny,
good.
and there were times at which I was at least playing with the idea that in fact this whole conversation has been sort of some sort of AI simulation, or
I'm not real.
the AI
I'm
generating
construct.
a commercial.
It's wild. I'm really good at it.
On
but
Tommy's.
Yeah.
They made
Sarah's
me.
character was weird enough that I was like, are you the output of the company? Like, is that...
Sometimes I do a bit around the house where like when we're really like hitting the bong and having a good night, where I'll act like I'm a bionic girlfriend who doesn't understand human love, and my husband's always like, it's too weird. Explain it to me again. Why am I here?
So I think we're taking us back to the original topic of, as an improviser, as somebody who appreciates humor, how much does your spouse, how much do the people in your life have to be able to appreciate and put up with that?
Oh my God, they like can't not. I think every person that I've ever dated had this moment of like, boy, at the end of the day, you really need to like use up a lot of words It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just like, I'm a very conversational person, and it's obvious to me when people don't like it. And so it's like, I've always sort of found people who either can match that level of conversation or were quieter than me and tolerated the sound. Maybe they had a chatty mother.
There's a way that like I don't know, in a marriage it's like you have to be able to play. Like
Yeah.
you like it's so much time and the circumstances are so varied. Like you have to be able to find your way to like make some of that playful, or else what are we doing
Sure.
here?
Yeah, if you're always nitpicking, it's like
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
you're nitpicking when stuff's good and when it sucks. Like you gotta, like, I don't know. Yeah, little bits just sail
Yeah.
you from one moment to the next. It's like you say, it's like a completely different circumstance depending on what everything's going on around you.
I guess it's just
The
the
ultimate
different
friendship.
styles and the different individual games that you do play. That yes, there has to be some sort of play, but not necessarily the play that you have with your go to the improv club, right? Philosophy bro columns with laden with obscenities and
Right.
a very peculiar kind of geekiness that perhaps other people in your life need not share because you have that outlet. Or
Yeah, I
have.
have recently come to terms with the fact that my wife did not fall in love with me for Philosophy Bro, and that's been hard, but I'm
That's
coming to
real.
grips with it.
That
Yeah.
means you have other good qualities.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have other good qualities than this character I wrote for 5 years in my early 20s. Thanks, Sarah.
No problem. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I think Bill is not coming back.
Bill
so
said that his
for-
internet died. He was able
Oh.
to send one last email. He said, "Great fun, y'all.
His whole
Sorry."
internet died. Oh no.
yeah, it's
He said something about he got a notice about too much generative AI speculation, and then
yeah. I mean, when the conversation heaps up too much, that energy has to come from somewhere. Clearly, it came from his technology, and we're sorry.
I might have pushed
Sorry,
him doing
Bill.
a British accent too.
You know, the other thing about playing your friends is it's like they are often they're like you in some way. And so there was a moment, Mark, when you were like talking about like the ever, the Midwestern last Eminem getting increasing, Zeno's Eminem getting smaller and smaller.
That was
And
really funny.
It was really funny. And I had the thought like, oh, from the Midwest, but like, yeah, all three of us still in this call lived in the Midwest for a very long time. Like, that's not really a joke in this character. That's just, but like, yes, also, yes, it is. Like, there's
But there's a point beyond which it gets a little ridiculous. Like it's
For sure.
you deal with the one thing, but then
Totally.
when you cut the fry into so that there's only a fourth of it's left, like what are you doing? Who are you?
I was picturing
think
that,
wants that fourth of a
Disney
fry?
cartoon where Mickey and Goofy and Donald are like slicing a bean, and they slice it to like the size of a paper. And it's like a GIF that I see every now and then. I was like, that's so funny. That's what always happens. You're trying to be nice, but then you're just making stress for yourself by like making a smaller and smaller Twix bar piece.
Yeah. And I end up in like a split off with like, a mother-in-law, and it's like, I can't win this. Like, there's no, she is a black belt in.
You gotta let him win the nice fight if you can't fight it.
In being inconvenienced for the sake of others. Like, yeah.
Well, thanks to both of you for showing up. No thanks to Bill.
Thanks to Bill off in the
all right,
ether.
all right. We'll grudging thanks to Bill for being here to
The
represent.
founder of the feast, indeed.
I should sell my soul. Bankrupt. Bankrupt.